Today is Friday, May 31st. What to know about a new threat of tariffs and what that has to do with illegal immigration. Plus, a historic spelling bee with 8 winners when at-home deliveries are expected to double, and $1 billion Star Wars land. Welcome to the NewsWorthy. All the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. President Trump is using trade to try and slow illegal immigration, so he's targeting Mexico with tariffs. The president announced a 5% tariff on all Mexican goods coming into the U.S. starting next month. And he says that extra tax on Mexican imports will continue to go up until, quote, illegal migrants coming through Mexico into our country stop. NBC News says the president is threatening to increase those tariffs almost monthly. It could get as high as 25% by October. Remember, many migrants are fleeing Central America, like Honduras and Guatemala, but they travel through Mexico to get to the U.S. border. Now Fox News says the president wants Mexico to step up security at the border. He also wants the country to target smugglers and work with the U.S. on a new asylum policy. Assuming the new tariff takes effect, a lot of products will be impacted, which could mean Americans will pay more for them. The Wall Street Journal says Mexico is America's third largest trading partner. In 2018, the U.S. imported more than $345 billion worth of goods from the country. We're talking about things like cars, medical supplies, fruits and vegetables, and alcohol. The new 5% tariff is set to go into effect June 10th. President Trump says he thinks former special counsel Robert Mueller has a personal vendetta against him, that he just doesn't like the president. Trump made those comments a day after Mueller spoke publicly about his final report. The first time we've heard from Mueller since he was appointed to lead the Russia investigation 2 years ago. As we talked about yesterday, Mueller reiterated that his final report did not exonerate Trump from wrongdoing, but that it's Justice Department policy not to charge a sitting president with a crime, hinting that Congress could do more if lawmakers want to. Well, now, Attorney General William Barr is also reacting. Barr spoke to CBS News and said his opinion is that Mueller could have been more clear whether or not President Trump broke the law, and he chose not to, even if he couldn't technically charge him with a crime. So what happens next? Well, Republicans say it's time to move on, but it's up to the House to decide whether or not to start the impeachment process, and not all House Democrats agree. More and more are for it, while House Speaker Nancy Pelosi still isn't so sure. New Hampshire is getting rid of the death penalty, but the move was not an easy feat. Lawmakers had to override a veto from the governor. After months of debate, state lawmakers did get their way. That means capital punishment will be replaced with life in prison without parole. In fact, New Hampshire's ban is part of a larger trend. It's now the 21st state to drop the death penalty. Others include Maryland, Illinois, and Washington. Of course, that means 29 states still have it. The number of measles cases in the U.S. is now at the highest it's been in 25 years. And at this rate, the CDC says the U.S. may lose its measles elimination status. Public health officials say the U.S. worked hard to get that status in the year 2000, which means the ongoing spread of the contagious disease had stopped. Now, as fewer people get vaccinated, outbreaks continue to spread. The AP reports 971 measles cases have been reported so far this year, and the largest outbreaks are happening in New York. But a push for more people to get vaccinated is at least doing some good. Fewer people were diagnosed this week than last. The FDA is taking its first big step to decide whether it's okay for CBD to go in food, drinks, and supplements. It's holding a public hearing today. CBD has been in a bit of a gray area. It comes from cannabis, like hemp and marijuana, but does not get you high. And now that hemp is legal in the U.S., the CBD that comes from it is as well. Although the FDA has said it still shouldn't be used in anything that's ingested, like food and drinks. So companies have been pressuring the FDA to come up with clear-cut rules, saying this could be a billion-dollar business. The popularity of CBD has skyrocketed. Today, the FDA will hear about the possible benefits of CBD and how it could be regulated. That said, you've probably already seen CBD-infused drinks, food, pet treats, and so on. Experts say it is out there, but it's technically not legal under federal law, at least not yet. An 8-way tie. Yes, there are 8 co-champions in a historic Scripps National Spelling Bee. The final night of the competition lasted 20 rounds, And all 8 kids spelled their way through all of those rounds. It lasted 3.5 hours. Each of the winners will get a Scripps Cup and $50,000 cash prize. All right, we have more news ahead for you, but first, a quick break to thank this week's sponsor. Because you listen to this podcast, I know you know how listening to great information makes us all smarter. Well, with Audible, you can add more unique and inspiring voices and compelling stories to that list, helping you become a better leader, family member, or just overall more knowledgeable person. Audible makes it easy because you listen to books on the go right from their convenient app. And you can get access to other things too, like free fitness programs and meditations. I just chose Atomic Habits by James Clear to listen to, so join me with that one, or find another self-improvement book or memoir or bestseller. I also love that you own all the books you get on Audible forever, and you can start for free. Start listening with a 30-day Audible trial, and your first audiobook plus 2 Audible originals are all free. Just visit audible.com/newsworthy or text newsworthy to 500-500. That's audible.com/newsworthy, AUDIBLE, audible.com/newsworthy, or just text newsworthy to 500-500. Now back to the news. Starting next year, FedEx will deliver packages 7 days a week, yes, even on Sundays. The Wall Street Journal says the company is responding to growing demand because of online shoppers who shop 7 days a week. FedEx says it expects the number of packages sent every day to double in the next 6 years, so it needs to be ready. For now, at least, UPS and the U.S. Postal Service do not deliver on Sundays, for the most part. E-cigarette maker JUUL is thinking about opening its own stores. That's what sources told CNBC. Nothing is set in stone just yet, but sources say the stores will not sell fruit-flavored e-cigarettes, and you will have to be 21 to get in. This could help JUUL take control of who's able to buy its products. Remember, the company has faced a lot of criticism and even government investigations over its popularity among teens, especially those fruity flavors. If the company does go through with this plan, sources tell Reuters it's looking to open stores in cities with high smoking rates, and the first would open in Texas. Millions of people are expected to head to New York over the next month, starting this weekend. They'll mark 50 years since the Stonewall riots. It's known as a turning point in the gay rights movement. In June 1969, police raided the Stonewall Inn, a gay club in New York City. That raid led to 6 days of violence and protests and sparked the modern movement for LGBTQ rights. World Pride will start tomorrow in New York, and the events will run throughout June. The Chicago Tribune says other cities in the U.S. are also celebrating, like Chicago, Seattle, and Denver. Attention Harry Potter fans, new books are coming out next month. Well, at least ebooks. CNET says there are 4 of them, and they're themed around Hogwarts lessons. Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling has made it known there would be no more full books. Instead, she wrote new material about the characters and places in the Harry Potter stories. The ebooks will focus on dark arts, potions, astronomy, and magical creatures. The first 2 come out at the end of June. You can pre-order them now on Amazon or Apple Books for $3. Opening today, a Star Wars-themed attraction in Disneyland. It's called Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and MarketWatch says it cost about $1 billion to bring to life, making it one of Disney's largest expansions in the history of its theme parks. It covers about 14 acres and has 2 rides and more than a dozen shops and restaurants. CNET says one of the rides will be open today, and the second will open later this year. To get in, visitors will have to buy a regular ticket into Disneyland in California. They start at $130. By the way, a second part of Galaxy's Edge will open in Disney's Hollywood Studios in Florida. That will open later this summer. And that's it for today. You are ready for the weekend. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, if you want to read more about any of the stories we talked about, just go to the homepage of thenewsworthy.com, click episodes, and look for today's date. The Newsworthy is ready for you to listen every weekday by 4 in the morning. I'll be back with more news on Monday. Have a great weekend.